Hello, welcome back to the channel. For those that don't know me, I'm Kerry. I'm the redhead reseller. I sell across eBay, Vinted, Etsy, Depop, although Depop's really quiet, and now Vestiaire, is that what we're calling it? I've actually got one order on there already, so yeah. We are doing a good old sales update as we're back in this lovely chair. I have been to Sweden for the weekend. I went to the charity shops. I did record. I bought nothing. They aren't too badly priced, to be honest. But I only had hand luggage to bring back with me. But I did think, well, I'm going to have a look around, see if I can find anything. They've got some amazing designer stuff that you could probably make a penny or two on. But, you know, just bringing it back, that's the problem. And the markups aren't going to be that big because you're paying sort of £10 to £30 for the item, depending on what it is. But like I said, there's designer there, so some of it was big money, brand new, definitely. But yeah, so there is a video, but because I was inside most of the shops pretty much all the time in the videos, there's just music in the background that I've had to sort of cover up. So I can't say how interesting it's going to be, but you can see what Sweden have to offer in their shops. But anyway, sales update. We are starting on £13,518.97. We've sold across 4 platforms out of 5, which is great. We will go with Vestiaire first, if that's how I'm going to be calling it. I don't know if that's right. They take a big margin off you though, I've noticed. So I sold this blazer. I bought it for £5. I sold it for £34.69, and then they've taken £13 off me. £13 off a £35 order. Yeah, I don't know how they can get away with charging that much, but I'm only going to be putting big ticket items on there by the looks of it. The ones that definitely cost me pence. But that's it for that one. Etsy, we've got one order. Weirdly, a pair of Clarks. I bought them for £3 and I sold them for £24.99, which is fantastic. They haven't hung around that long, I don't think. But yeah, that's it for Etsy. We then have Vinted. We have this Macapaca plush. Got it for 50p. I sold it for £8. Definitely worth keeping an eye out for some of these plush. I can make anything from £5 to £35 on a plush, depending on what it is. And obviously it all adds up. This Marvel bundle of figures cost me 50p. I've just sold them for £14.99. And these riding pants cost me £3. They hung around for a good while because they're a very small size. But I sold them for 20. And obviously we're on Vinted, so no fees, which is great. That's everything for Vinted. So very short and sweet with those 3. eBay has definitely started picking up now, like hugely, which is fantastic. So we first got this Muppets plush. He wasn't in the best of conditions. I bought him for £5 from the charity shop in March, and I sold him for £22.99. He needed a wash, but I can't remember what the reason was, but I couldn't wash it for some reason. Then we have this World War One book, cost me 10p in that good old £10 bundle. Sold it for £7.99. This Slender Tome cost me £3. Sold it for £16. These socks cost me £5 from Go Outdoors. Sold them for £12. This racket cost me £1. Sold it for £13. This perfume bottle cost me 50p. I sold it for £19.54. This Marie plush hung around forever. Bought it for 50p, sold it for £5.99. It was just a Primark one, so it's still got £6 for a Primark plush. It's brilliant. This Van Gogh tent cost me £3 from the tip shop. When I opened it, it was brand new in its bag. So for £3, amazing. I sold it for £108 on an offer. This soda bottle cost me 20p. I sold it for £6.99. Hung around for ages. Don't buy it. I picked up from a car boot August last year, I want to say. These New Balances did not stick around long at all. Bought them for £4 on the Easter weekend. I sold them for £32. This Radley purse, bought it for £2.25. I sold it for £9. This Ever After dog. Yeah, no, yeah. You know when you write stuff down, you think to yourself, what does that mean? Ever After doll, wasn't a dog, it was doll. Bought it for 50p. I sold it for 17.99. This iPod, it was untested. Bought it for £4. I sold it for £15. This Jurassic bundle of figures cost me £4 for all of them. Sold them for £21.24. This remote cost me £1. Sold it for £8.99. Remotes cans are okay. So, you know, they don't take up much room, so they're worth buying. This teapot cost me £1.95. I sold it for £9. This back massager cost me £3. Literally within the last month, I think. I sold it for £24.99. This sea salt dress cost me £1. I sold it for £11.99. This DKNY bag cost me £5. That's hung around, I want to say, for about 8-9 months. Sold it for £25. This Monopoly, bought it for £2. I sold it for £15. Monopoly is definitely worth picking up. A lot of them can do some really good money. I think the best one I've sold has been like 65 quid or something so far. These Missoni glasses cost me £2.50. I sold them for £21.24. This Tigger bag, bought it for £1. Hung around forever, but obviously it doesn't take up much room because it's a tote bag. I sold it for £16.14. This Neil Yard cream cost me 20p. I sold it for £8.99. Did hang around for a while, but it's sold, doesn't take up much room again. This throw, the White Company is worth picking up when it comes to their throws. I paid £1.25 for this. I sold it for £30, which is brilliant. And this IKEA drawer, this I sold. I got it on Facebook for free last year. I then sold it with 2 runners, and it sold, and the buyer came back and was like, oh, one of the runners is missing. The parcel was open when it got here. You are full of crap. You told me in the messages that their daughter had lent on the runners and had broken one of the runners, and the buyer told me which side the runner was that's broken. So then when my item got there and was opened and it was missing a runner, it was the same runner that was missing. So yeah, you've clearly tried to have me and eBay off. Lucky enough it was eBay, not me, because I was fuming. So I got my money back and they obviously returned the item with the missing runner. So again, I've sold this drawer for £15.29. So it worked out in my favour more than anything. But yeah, I was fuming at the time. Buyers don't half annoy you, don't they, sometimes? That is everything for eBay. So yeah, a few orders. I've definitely had a few more orders since then. They were flying in yesterday, which was Sunday the 10th of May. I don't know why they were flying in, but they were. I got off the plane last night and was bombarded with orders, which I'm not complaining, it's great. So that's everything for my sales. I have forgot to work out how much I have actually knocked this down by, so I will be back with you in 2 seconds. Okay, I'm back. So we started on £13,518.97. We've then spent £60.98 on bubble wrap and some stock. So that then brings us down after fees to a total of £13,111.36. So we're nearly that 13,000 mark already, which is fantastic. But yeah, that's everything for this week's sales update. So until the next one, please like, subscribe and comment. I'll see all of you again very soon. Bye.